So is the present heaven a physical place? Christ went through the greater and more perfect tabernacle, we're told in Hebrews 9, that is not man-made, that is to say, is not a part of this creation. And then we're told in Hebrews 9:24, Christ did not enter a man-made sanctuary that was only a copy of the true one. He entered heaven itself. Now this is very interesting, because here you have a statement that there is a greater and more perfect tabernacle that was the basis on which an earthly physical tabernacle was made. Well, if the earthly physical tabernacle was indeed physical, which of course it was, and it's patterned on something greater that's in heaven, does that suggest something about the nature of heaven? Does it suggest that heaven may not be, now we're talking the present heaven. We'll be going on to the new earth, but this afternoon session is basically, sessions are basically focused on the present heaven. Is that place an immaterial place, a non-physical place, or is it simply another physical place where there are spiritual beings, some of which do not have bodies or physical forms, such as the angels, but others of which could have an actual physical form? Or do angels even themselves not have a physical form in this world except when they take on a human body? And you've got lots of examples of that in the Old Testament. In Genesis, the angels appearing to Abraham, and throughout the Old Testament and New Testament as well. They're certainly physical, they're in physical form, but they appear to be taking on a form as opposed to inherently having a form. But is it also possible that heaven may be a physical place that is not accessible to us? For instance, were those warriors that Elisha and his servant were able to see, and those horses and those chariots, is it accurate to say they were not physical, or that they couldn't, or is it true that they could not be seen and physically discerned, but in their own realm may have physicality? For instance, when demons and angels are in combat, and this is very clearly depicted in Daniel 9 and 10, and you actually have an angel that is being restrained from coming to answer a prayer made by Daniel, and it's in battle with a fallen angel for 3 weeks, delaying the answer to Daniel's prayer. Now, does combat exist without any physical nature or implications to it? Is it possible that in their own realm there is a reality of contact and the potential for injury or harm in these battles between the spiritual forces of good and the spiritual forces of evil? Well, we can't be sure, but it's certainly suggestive to say that there was something in heaven that the earthly tabernacle was based on.